this is Dr. Do again. This video is outside of medicine. Continue the viewing history through reading. I'm going to continue to read. How much better it would have been if the man had eaten today some of the plunder they took from their enemies. Would not the slaughter of the Philistine have been even greater? That day, after the Israelite had struck down the Philistine from Michmash to Ajalon, they were exhausted. They pounced on the plunder, and taking sheep, cattle, and calves, they butchered them on the ground and ate them, together with the blood. Then someone said to Saul, "Look, the men are sinning against God by eating meat that has blood in it." "You have broken faith," he said. "Roll this large stone over here at once." Then he said, "Go out among the men and tell them, each of you bring me your cattle and sheep, and slaughter them here and eat them. Do not sin against God by eating meat with blood still in it." So everyone brought his ox that night and slaughtered it there. Then Saul built an altar to the Lord. It was the first time he had done this. Saul said, "Let us go down after the Philistine by night and plunder them till dawn, and let us not leave one of them alive." "Do whatever seems best to you," they replied. But the priest said, "Let us inquire of God here." So Saul asked God, "Shall I go down after the Philistine? Will you give them into Israel's hand?" But God did not answer him that day. Saul therefore said, "Come here, all you who are leaders of the army, and let us find out what sin has been committed today. As surely as the Lord who rescued Israel's lives, even if it lies with my son Jonathan, he must die." But not one of these men said a word. Saul then said to all the Israelites, "You stand over there. I and Jonathan, my son, will stand over here." "Do what seems best to you," the man replied. Then Saul prayed to the Lord, "The God of Israel, give me the right answer." And Jonathan and Saul were taken by lot, and the men were cleared. Saul said, "Cast the lot between me and Jonathan my son," and Jonathan was taken. Then Saul said to Jonathan, "Tell me what you have done." So Jonathan told him, "I merely tasted a little honey with the end of my staff, and now must I die?" Saul said, "May God deal with me. Be it over so severely if you do not die, Jonathan." But the man said to Saul, "Should Jonathan die, he who has brought about this great deliverance in Israel, never, as surely as the Lord lives, not a hair of his head will fall to the ground. For he did this today with God's help." So the man rescued Jonathan, and he was not put to death. Then Saul stopped pursuing the Philistines, and they withdrew to their own land. After Saul had assumed rule over Israel, he fought against their enemies on every side: Moab, the Ammonites, Edom, the king of Zebah, and the Philistines. Wherever he turned, he inflicted punishment on them. He fought valiantly and defeated the Amalekites, delivering Israel from the hands of those who had plundered them. Saul's family. Saul's sons were Jonathan, Ashiv, and Malchi-Shua. The name of his older daughter was Merab, and that of the youngest was Michal. His wife's name was Avinom, daughter of Ahimaaz. The name of the commander of Saul's army was Abner, son of Ner, and Ner was Saul's uncle. Saul's father Kish and Abner's father Ner were sons of Abiel. All the days of Saul there was bitter war with Philistine, and whenever Saul saw a mighty or brave man, he took him into his service. The Lord rejects Saul as king. Chapter 15. Samuel said to Saul, I am the one the Lord sent to anoint you king over his people Israel. So listen now to the message from the Lord. This is what the Lord Almighty says. I will punish the Amalekites for what they did to Israel when they waylaid them as they came up from Egypt. Now go, attack the Amalekites and totally destroy everything that belong to them. Do not spare them. Put to death man, woman, children and infants, cattle and sheep, camels and donkeys. So Saul summoned the men and mustered them at Telem, 200,000 foot soldiers and 10,000 men from Judah. Saul went to the city of Amalek and set an ambush in the ravine. Then he said to the Kenites, Go away, leave the Amalekites, so that I do not destroy you along with them. For you showed kindness to all the Israelites when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites moved away from the Amalekites. Then Saul attacked the Amalekites all the way from Havilah to Shur, to the east of Egypt. He took Agag, king of the Amalekites, alive, and all his people he totally destroyed with the sword. But Saul and the army spared Agag and the best of the sheep and the cattle, the fat calves and the lambs, everything that was good. These they were unwilling to destroy completely, but everything that was despised and weak they totally destroyed. Then the word of the Lord came to Samuel, I am grieved that I have made Saul king, because he was turned away from me and has not carried out my instructions. Samuel was troubled, and he cried out to the Lord all the night. Early in the morning, Samuel got up and went to meet Saul. But he was told, Saul has gone to Carmel. There he would set up a mountain in his own honor, and has turned and gone down to Gilgal. When Samuel reached him, Saul said, The Lord bless you, I have carried out the Lord's instruction. But Samuel said, What then is this bleating of sheep in my ears? What is this lowing of the cattle that I hear? Saul answered, The soldiers brought them from the Amalekites. They spared the best of the sheep and cattle to sacrifice to the Lord your God, but we totally destroyed the rest. Stop, Samuel said to Saul. Let me tell you what the Lord said to me last night. Tell me, Saul replied. Samuel said, Although you were once small in your own eyes, did you not become the head of tribes of Israel? The Lord anointed you king over Israel, and he sent you on mission, saying, Go and destroy those wicked people, the Amalekites. Make war on them until you have wiped them out. I'm going to stop here today and continue next time. Thank you for watching.